Good morning, second grade scholars. I hope you're having a great day. Happy Monday. So, what I decided to do for your math mini lesson was to create the rainbow that I've been seeing everywhere. I don't know if you've heard about it, but this is the 518 rainbow hunt. So, people are creating these rainbows to spread positivity during this time and just kind of some happiness and joy. So, I thought we would turn this into a math lesson. Now, this is one of those situations where you might not have a ruler. But remember in math class, we learned about benchmark. So you can use a benchmark such as your pinky to measure your rainbow. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, I'll try to move it in a little closer so you can see. If you look, I started a little bit. So what I did was I just drew a rainbow, your regular rainbow. And then I took my pinky and I started benchmarking my numbers. And if you look closely enough, you can see my little tick marks that I was making while I was measuring so I didn't lose track. And I just counted and then I marked that this red arch is 57 centimeters long. Using my pinky, remember, that's our benchmark for our centimeters. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the green, the blue, the purple, and the pink. There's a couple things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing this. Let me rearrange myself. Stay with me. So what you need to make sure you're doing is lining up. So if I start here, and I have to make sure that I'm lining it up each time. So that would be 1. And then I'd have to go right up to that mark I just made. Make another tick mark. That's 2. Notice how I'm taking my time. I'm also upside down, so bear with me. I can tell that one's a little off. Doing it with the computer in front of me, it's a little weird. That's okay. I'm trying my best, and that's all that matters. So I'm just using my pinky as a benchmark for my centimeters. Just taking my time. Doing my best. Can you still see that? Hopefully. So I want to really make sure that I'm lining it up with that previous benchmark tick mark that I made. It does take patience and time, so you have to just work with it. Make those tick marks. Try your best. Right? We're not going to get frustrated over it. Just going to try our best with what we have. And that's another thing. So when you do create it, don't worry about not having crayons or anything. Get creative, right? Use this time to get a little creative. Use your imagination. Anything you have in the house, with permission, of course, from your grown-up. All right, so now I'm going to go back and count it. Since I was talking, I couldn't keep track. So we start with the first one. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Now you can see I've been keeping track. So I'm going to write 34 centimeters right in the middle of that green arch. Okay. Now we're going to go do the blue one. That's Hildebrands' favorite color. One, look at how I start right at the edge. And I make that tick mark. And it definitely takes some time. Your pinky might hurt a little bit. It's all good. Making these tick marks is really important. Otherwise, you wouldn't know where you started and where you began. So that's really helping the measurement out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, now we're going to do the purple one. All right, so I had here, move my pinky right over, line it up with that last tick mark. Again, lining up with that last tick mark, then I make my new tick mark. I keep doing that until I get to the very end. Now, this could be a little difficult. Remember, you're just going to try your best, line it up with that last tick mark, and then make your mark. And if for some reason you do have a little extra, remember we're just going to estimate to the closest. So I would say that's close to 1 centimeter. So I'm going to count that as 1. So I'm going to go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And of course, labeling it centimeters. So that's what we're using to measure our mental benchmark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to estimate it to 10 centimeters. So now you can see we finished the rainbow. I'm going to try to. So it's just really important that when you're measuring with your pinky, because that's your mental benchmark for this, you're going to be measuring using like the side of your pinky to the other side of your pinky, this little short part. And we just want to make sure that we're lining it up, trying to show you, just like this. And you make your tick marks and you move on to the next one. Remember to always start at your end point. So my end point in this case, this is very important, is the end of the rainbow. Where does it, well, the start of the rainbow all the way to the end. So these are my 2 end points. So you saw when I was measuring the green, the blue, the purple, and the pink, I never started in the middle. That doesn't make any sense. We always are starting at our end points. Remember, you make the tick mark and you go all the way around, so you're leaving no extra space, no gaps. That is extremely important in measurements, so to make sure that you're accurate. Okay. So now I'm going to back it up. Hello. And what I did next was I made questions. Okay, so after you make your rainbow and you measure it using your pinky, I made some questions for us to answer. Let me put it up here. And I'll go over it with them. I'll go over them with you. So they're the questions. There's 8 questions total. And we can start those right now. So the first question says, how long is the longest arc? Now, we've talked about this in class. What you want to do first is you always want to go back to what you're working with, in this case, our rainbow, and we want to look. Well, the longest arc is going to be the one that has the highest number. It's the most. So if we look, we know it's not going to be 10, right? And you can see that they keep getting bigger. So the longest arc is going to be the red one, because that's the biggest arc. It's the longest. And it's 57 centimeters. So on this line, I'll try to zoom it in. Do you see, right, the number 1 right here? How long is the longest arc? We're going to go to this line right here, and it says 57. So I would write 57 centimeters. Okay. The next one says, how long is the shortest arc? So I'm going to go, again, back to my picture. So that's what's going to help me answer these questions. And it says shortest. So I know that the red is the longest. The shortest is going to be my pink in the middle. And it's 10 centimeters. So I'm going to go back to number 2. I'm going to write 10 centimeters. Now, we get into a little bit of math. How much longer is the longest arc from the shortest arc? How much longer is the longest arc from the shortest arc? Arch. I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. So, we have to go back and look. Well, if we look here, it's actually on our paper, and we could use this to help us. The longest arch is 57 centimeters. The shortest arch is 10 centimeters. So we have to do something with these 2 numbers. How much longer should remind you of something else, which would be how much more. But they're asking us how much longer. So they're comparing these. Well, I have the longest arc, which is 57 centimeters, and the shortest arch, which is 10 centimeters. What do I have to do with those 2 numbers? Hopefully you're thinking about this right now and you said, Miss Hildebrand, you have to subtract, because you would be correct. You do have to subtract. So I'm going to quickly grab a piece of paper. So I can do it with you. So my 2 numbers, and I'm going to set it up. 57 and 10. Okay, so my longest arch is 57 centimeters. My shortest arch is 10 centimeters. What I have to do is subtraction. We're finding the difference between these 2 numbers. 7 minus 0 would be 0. And if you remember from very early in the year, when we were taking away tens, the only thing that's going to be changing here is your tens place. Okay, so if you take 5, you have 5, and you take 1 away, you're going to have 4. Oh my. Wow. Miss Hildebrand's sleeping still. I'm so sorry. I hope you were paying attention and you were like, wow, Miss Hildebrand, what are you doing? Bear with me. This is new to me, okay? I'm still getting used to it. I haven't had my coffee. 7 minus 0 is going to give you 7. And 5 minus 1 is going to give you 4. So your answer would be 47 centimeters. And you go back to your paper. And on number 3, you would write 47 centimeters. Now, it might just happen that if you are to draw your own arch, you're going to get different answers or different measurements than Miss Hildebrand, right? It's not going to come out to be exactly 57 centimeters long. Your rainbow is going to be different than my rainbow. What I want you to remember, though, is these strategies that we're using to answer these questions. Okay? Hopefully it's coming back to you and you haven't forgotten. I know you haven't. You ladies are awesome. So, number 4 is, I'll try to zoom it in. What is the difference between the red arch and green arch? Ooh, what is the difference? I know I'd have so many hands up in Columbia right now, and I'm sure the other colleges as well. You ladies know the difference is going to tell you to, hopefully you said subtract. Difference is going to tell you to subtract. They said the red and green arch. So I have to come over to my chart again because that's what I'm referencing. The red arch is 57. So I'm just going to write it on my little whiteboard. And the green arch is 34 centimeters. Difference tells me to subtract. So when you set it up vertically, this is what it should look like. 7 minus 4 is going to give you some think time. 7 minus 4 is going to give you 3. And 5 minus 3, give you some think time, is going to give you 2. And I know you knew that. 23 centimeters is the difference between the red arch and the green arch. So we're going to go back to our sheet. So we write that down and we don't forget. I know it's trouble to see. I will attach this at the end as well with the questions. I am writing 23. So you ladies can see the questions. I'll attach it at the end. Remember to always label. I did it here for you. But remember, when you're at home to label centimeters, that's what we're talking about. That's your unit. It's very important. 23 centimeters and 23 inches are going to look a lot different. So just be careful. Now, number 5 says, I'll zoom in it again. Number 5 says, what is the total of the yellow, blue, and purple arch? Yellow, blue, and purple. So what I'm going to do is go back to my rainbow, of course. Erase my board so I'm ready. My sheet says yellow, blue, and purple. So first I'm going to write down yellow. Yellow is 43 centimeters. Yellow. Remember, I'm just looking at my sheet to make sure I have the correct arches that they're talking about. Blue is 26 and purple is 19. What is the total? Total is going to tell you to give you that think time. And I know you screamed out, add. So you're going to set that up vertically. Now remember, if for whatever reason you don't like setting up the 3 numbers and adding them like that, do 2 of the numbers and then add the other one. Whatever works for you, okay? Or we can use a strategy right now and we can go like this. What's 6 plus 3? 6 plus 3 is 9. Remember, you have this other 9 that you cannot forget about. So what's 9 plus 9 now? 18. This is very important. 18. So in this ones place, we got 18. Your 8 stays in your ones place. That 1, remember, has to go up the elevator. We have to carry him over. So now he's over here. These numbers are, I think, pretty simple. We can do this. But if you need to, use this strategy again. So write your little arrows. What's 4 plus 2? Good. You have 6. 6 plus 1 more is going to give you 7. Plus 1 more is going to give you 8. So your answer should be 88 centimeters. And I'm going to go back to number 5. Take this down for a second. Back to number 5, which is right here. And I'm going to write 88 centimeters. Now, number 6. Ooh, this question. Zoom it in. Number 6 says, how many more centimeters do you need to add to the orange arch to get to 100 centimeters? Ooh, okay. I'm going to read it one more time. How many more centimeters do you need to add to the orange arch to get to 100 centimeters? Okay, so what I'm going to do first, look at my arch. They're talking about the orange arch. So I'm going to go right there. This is another reason why we labeled our numbers right in our arch to help us. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 46 centimeters. So I'm going to write 46 on my board. And that equals the orange. They want to know how many more centimeters do I need to add to the orange to get to 100 centimeters. So if you think about your number bonds, take a second and think about what's your part and what's your whole, and what one do you still need to solve for? How many more centimeters do you need to add to the orange arch to get to 100 centimeters? They're telling you they want you to get at the end of all of this to 100 centimeters. Where is your 100 centimeters going to go? In your part or in your whole? I'm just giving you some think time. Your 100 centimeters will go in your whole. That's the total they want you to have, the orange arch, at the end when we're all done solving. So that means this 46 centimeters is going to go in one of your parts. And if you remember, this is Miss Park's trick that she taught Miss Hildebrand. You would add these two, but we don't know this yet. So you always subtract these two. So now what we have to do is we have to set up 100 minus 46. I'll leave that there. And I have another one. Okay, so I'm going to set that up now. I have 100 and I have 46. Oh, we are professionals at subtracting with 2 zeros. 0, take away 6. Can you do it? I know that you're all shouting, no, Miss Hildebrand, you can't do that. So we cross it off. We go to our neighbor. We say, neighbor, do you have anything? Oh, no, they don't have anything. Cross it off, but you have to go to that next neighbor. 1, we're going to borrow this. This 1 turns to a, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see. This 1 will turn to a 0. This 0 is going to turn to a 9. Remember, because instead of taking the 10 that you would have originally put here, you have to take 1 away from this 10's place to give it to this 0. So this turns to a 10 because you took 1 away from this 0. Okay. So now you can subtract 10 minus 6. Hopefully you said 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And remember, it's a 0, so that's nothing. So our answer, if we go back to this one, I'm just going to erase that. I'm going to fill in 54. And guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to check my work because that's really important. So in order to check your work, it's right here. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So to check our work, we are going to add 46 plus 54. That's what I'm going to do right now. 54 plus 46. 4 plus 6. Testing you on those facts. I hope you're maybe not yelling them, because I don't want you to get in trouble and drive your parents crazy. But you're whispering them. 6 plus 4 is 10. Do you see how I carried the 1? And the 0 stays right here. See the 1 up here? Okay. 5 plus 4 is 9. Plus 1 more is 10. Remember, don't forget to write that 1. Okay. Just because there's nothing here doesn't mean you can get rid of that. We've talked about that in class. So make sure, okay, if you cover up, 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. You wrote the number 10 right here. That's what you need to make sure you're doing. And did you get your answer? You sure did. So that means we did it correctly. Nice work. So I'm going to go back to my sheet. Number 6. We just answered how many more centimeters do you need to add to the orange arch to get to 100 centimeters? And we know that we need 54 centimeters. So next we are going to do number 7. It says, how long are the pink, yellow, and red arches all together? Ooh, all right, let me erase my boards so we can start all over again. So in my problem, it said pink, yellow, and red. So I'm going to go right to my rainbow. I hope you guys can see this. Pink is right down here. Pink is 10. So I'm going to write 10 centimeters. Yellow, which is 43 centimeters. And red, which is 57 centimeters. They want to know how long are the pink, yellow, and red arches all together? All together is going to tell you to add. All together is going to tell you to add. So they want to know all of those arches together. How much are they going to equal? So I set it up already. Now remember, if you need to, do the 2 at a time and then add the other one. But we're going to challenge ourselves and we're going to add this together. This is a 0, so this shouldn't be too difficult because all we have to do is add 7 plus 3. So 7 plus 3, just giving some think time for you to work it out. If you have to, you can always pause the video. 7 plus 3 is going to give you 10. So your 0 goes on the bottom. Carry it up. Don't forget that 1 up here. That is extremely important. So now I always start with my bigger numbers first when I add. I think it just makes it easier for me. So I do 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is going to give you, if you have to, write it right on the side so you don't forget, 9. 9 plus 1 more is 10. 10, don't forget you have 1 more. 10 plus 1 more is 11. Remember, make sure, oh no, sorry, you're writing. Okay, I know that there's nothing in your hundreds place, but you still need to be making sure that you're writing the 11 that you got. So now your answer is 110 centimeters. Remember that unit. So I'm going to go back to number 7. And I'm going to write 110 centimeters right here. Okay. Now our last one, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I know that we can do it. So I'm going to erase my board and I'm going to get ready. It says, I'll zoom it on in for you. Uh-oh, you can't see it. It says, what is the total of all the arches in the rainbow? What is the total of all the arches? Oh, here we go. So what I have to do first is look at my rainbow. They want to know all of the arches. So in order to solve that, I need to, hopefully you're saying, add total. They want to know what's it all together. Total is going to tell you that you need to add. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different arches, 7 different numbers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to only do a few at a time. Okay? I think that's going to help us when we're adding. And so we don't get tricked or confused, right? We don't want to mix up any of our numbers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the red and the orange. Yes, I'm going to do red, orange, and yellow. We've been adding 3 numbers together. I know you can do it. So all I'm doing is writing this down. You can use a scrap paper. You can use any paper you have laying around, with permission, of course. So this is red. I'm going to label them just so I don't get confused. Red, orange. I want to make sure our work is organized, and yellow. Okay, so this is what I did. These are my arch measurements. So I have 57 centimeters for my red, 46 centimeters for orange, and 43 centimeters for yellow. Now what I have to do is add those numbers together. So you have to do 7 plus 6. which gives you 13. 13 plus 3, if you have to, just so you remind yourself, right? I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to trick yourself and forget the number. So 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 3 more, giving some think time, is 16. So we write the 6 down here. Remember, you have to carry your 1, so it's going to go right above the 5. Now, you can do your doubles first if that makes sense to you, just because it's quick and it's easy. Most of us, I think, know our doubles. Maybe you forgot. Don't forget. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 5. I'm just giving that think time. 8 plus 5 is going to give you 13. Okay, so now I only have to add one more. So 13 plus 1 is going to give you 14. Okay, but are we done? So I have the 146 centimeters, but am I done? No, they want to know the total of all the arches all together. So I'm going to put that down for right now, and this is why I labeled them with my red, my orange, and my yellow, so I wouldn't forget. So I stopped at yellow. Now I'm going to go to green, blue, and purple, and I'm going to write this down on my same paper. So I'm just going to select the green is 34 centimeters. Blue is 26, and purple is 19. This is green, blue, purple. Okay. So, start. 9 plus 6. Do that now. It's going to give you 15. Okay. And then 15 plus 4. I'll give you time to think about that. It's going to give you 19. So you're going to write your 9 in your ones place. And then carry your 1 to your tens place. Don't forget about that 1. So now you can do 3 plus 2, which is going to give you 5. Plus 1 more is 6. Plus 1 more is 7. Okay. Now, we are not done. We still have that one more, which is pink, because I added pink to our rainbow. And pink is going to be 10. So since it's 10, and that's a pretty simple number for us to add, I'm going to write it right underneath the 79 right here. And I'm just going to add my 10. Now, if you're doing this in your head mentally, and I know you can, 9 plus 0 is going to give you 9. Remember, the only thing that's going to be changing is your tens place. That's what you're changing. So 7 plus 1 more is going to give you 8. So we're going to use this. Oh, sorry. Let's make that clearer. We're going to use this 89 centimeters. And we have to do one more thing. So this was our total up here. And this is our total down here, because remember, we split it up when we added, so it wouldn't be too much. So now I have to I'll leave this over here, these two numbers, and I have to add those together to get my total of all the arches all together. So on my other board, I'm going to write 146 and 89. And this is what it looks like. So now I have to do 6 plus 9, which is 15. I have my 5, carry my 1. Okay, now I do 8 plus 4. I'm just giving that think time. I want you ladies to be thinking about this in your brains right now. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 more is going to give you 13. So carry that 1. Your 3 goes down on the bottom, and 1 plus 1 is 2. 235 centimeters. That is the total of all of our arches all together in Miss Hildebrand's rainbow. Okay, so now that we're not done, we have to go back and 35. Sorry, many of us are working from home, so if you hear another voice, it's just because we're all working over here in Miss Hildebrand's house. So you have 235 centimeters. Now, we finish this. I'm going to attach this so you ladies can try it with your own rainbow. Remember, challenge yourselves. Use your imagination. Remember, when you're drawing, I'll do this one more time. When you're using your measurement, trying to line this up. Okay. I made my tick marks right on there. Draw right on there. Use this as your tool to help you. Okay, so you take your pinky, you start at your end point, and my pencil is somewhere, and then I mark, okay? And then I lined it up with that mark, and I marked the other one. Moved it until I found that end point, marked a new one, okay? Pinky as your benchmark for your centimeters. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I thought it was fun. Hope you enjoy it. So then when you're done and you have permission, you can take your rainbow. Because remember, this is the 518 rainbow hunt, and you can hang up your rainbow in a window or maybe just on your fridge or your door. Get permission from your grown-up. We want to spread positivity. Okay, I hope you had fun. Ooh. Go out there, measure, use those benchmarks. I will see you tomorrow. I love you guys. I hope you're doing great things and have an awesome day. Be your best self. Bye.